I'm Maya Hamoud with EMV 270 News, a student news source for all things the environment. Recently, the Brazilian government selected the University of Michigan to be a biodiversity consultant for the fate of attractive rainforest land it is still deciding what to do with. Griffin, what are some of the potential uses for this land that the Brazilian government is considering, and what are some of the problems involved?
Well, Maya, there are a variety of possible uses for the land. Currently, the government is considering either leaving the land as rainforest and converting it into a biodiversity reserve, selling it for use as a monoculture coffee plantation, allowing sustainable peasant shade coffee agriculture on the land, or selling it to a developer to be used for housing or business development. Although there are a variety of other aspects the Brazilian government must consider in deciding what to do with the land, it is concerned with the effect of each potential use would have on the biodiversity of the region and thus the health of the surrounding ecosystem and environment. And that is why they have chosen the University of Michigan as a biodiversity consultant.
Thank you, Griffin. For more, we go to student reporter Isaiah Stone-Wheatley, who's with Dr. Yvette Perfecto, one of the university's biodiversity experts working on the project.
Thank you, Maya. So, Dr. Perfecto, what are some of the implications each of these potential uses could have on the biodiversity and health of the environment, both on the plot and in the surrounding area?
You mentioned three different alternatives. One is leaving it as rainforest. The other one is having intensive coffee plantation, monocultures, and the other one is having shaded coffee. So if you leave it like forest, of course, that's going to be the alternative that will leave the most biodiversity. But then there's no generation of income for the people that live in the area. And so if you turn it into the other alternative, which was turning into a monoculture of coffee, that will have a dramatic impact on biodiversity. Because when you eliminate all the trees, the habitat for the biodiversity that used to be there is eliminated, so biodiversity declines dramatically. And then if you do the shaded coffee, that in my opinion would be the best alternative, that will reduce biodiversity to some extent, but if it's done with organic methods and agroecological methods and shaded coffee, that will provide for movement of the organisms between the different patches of forest through that coffee agroecosystem, and at the same time will generate, will maintain some level of biodiversity, and at the same time will generate some income for the population there. So in my opinion, if you need to have some level of income for the population that lives in the region, and at the same time you want to maintain biodiversity, the best option would be to have a system that is agroecological and that maintain a lot of trees and allow for migration of organisms between the forests, the patches of forests.
Thank you, Dr. Perfecto.
You're welcome.
Maya?
Remember to stay tuned for more updates on the situation in Brazil.
We will now turn you over to our affiliates in London for the morning edition of Global Environmental Perspective.